Okay, we lit it just like a fuse, so no need to pick and choose. Welcome to 2020, where we do more than interviews. The hottest beat coming through, jumping knowledge on all of you. Get a peek at the front of you with the truth that they offer you. Yeah, hands up, we doing it for the culture. To give artists and businesses more exposure. Keeping it real and stay silent just like a boulder. It's about to go all the way down, can't get no lower. Chasing my dreams, know that they get no slower. But if I stay running, I promise they getting closer. Moreover, success my older. And if you're sleeping on me, I'm waking them up like Folgers. I told you, coming from the land with the tide roll. Well, we'll be on a whole different vibe though. We like to ride slow and keep our windows tinted so you really can see us like Stevie Wonder waking up with his eyes closed. Yeah, got the kind of flow that rock the boat. On my 16s of pounds of dope. And if you figure you can hang with me on the mic, then grab some rope. Matter of fact, better grab some hope. While you at it, we keep it live, it's time to tune in. Turn up the sound on what you're using. It goes so hard, I think it's bruising. The show is 2020, no need to zoom in. Yeah.
Hey, yo, what's up? It's your boy, Sir, of the 2020 podcast, LLC. Please say the LLC. And today, we made magic happen. I've been following these two young gentlemen on Reality of Wrestling forever, it seems. Today, we got the special guest, Fly Def, in the building. Zack Mason, Warren Johnson. How are y'all doing today, bro?
Good.
Doing good, man. Can't complain.
Man, look.
Having us, big homie.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate it. So let's get right into it because I definitely want to pick you guys' brain. At 2020, we are big wrestling fans, and we like to go and see who's kind of big before they make it, you know, out there in the world. So we pay attention to like Reality of Wrestling, Ring of Honor, just some of the smaller promotions before you guys make it big, because you know what I'm saying, that's how I do everything. I like to get on people before they make it really big. That way I can say I'm day one. But
Sure.
you guys stood out to me. Fly Def stood out to me because I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You guys are a tag team that do not play into stereotypes. You guys are just athletic, you're passionate, and I've seen you on both sides of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? I've seen you play the face and the heel, and I thought that was amazing. So it inspired me to reach out to you guys and kind of see what inspired you guys, and that way we could share it with those who listen to us. So, first question, the most basic of them all. What's pretty much inspired you guys to do professional wrestling? Now, we're going to go back and forth. So, Warren, I'm going to start with you.
All right. What pretty much inspired me, man, was just watching it as a kid and just getting hooked on it from the get-go. Like, I can remember going to school one day and seeing a bunch of kids playing with wrestling action figures, and I was just like, what is that? What the hell is that? And
Right.
they was telling me about it. Yo, yeah, it's WWE, WCW, come on every Monday. Like, and I instantly checked it out, and like just from the first match on, I was just hooked. And I didn't really, I mean, I always had a dream of, you know, the young kid dream of being a wrestler, but I never really took it serious until I was about like 20, 23, 24 years old. Mm-hmm. And I was just watching it one day and I was just like, man, I think I could really do this. And I think I want to give it a try. And I started training just like on some, like, I want to knock it off my bucket list type of stuff. And I trained for a couple months and I had my first match, and having my first match was just like a hit a crack, man. I couldn't get enough, and I was like, I thought I was only gonna do it just, you know, I was planning on just training for a little bit and having one match, and I was gonna bow out gracefully, like, oh, check it off my bucket list. But I had that first match, and I haven't looked back since, man. And I actually, October 24th, about a week ago, was my 7th year anniversary of wrestling. So I've been in it for about 7 years now. So
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right. What about you, Zack?
For me, I grew up a fan. My dad got me into it. Like, I don't even have like one specific moment that I can remember that got me into it, because it was just always on in the house. And my dad like bought me like the action figures when I was like 3 years old. So I've always been into it from like almost like birth, I guess. And then like of course, like you think about it like when you're younger or whatever, but like you don't take it serious, because like how do you become a wrestler? Like, especially back then, like that doesn't even seem real. Like like that's a possibility, like that could ever happen.
Mhm.
And then I think it was 2016, WrestleMania came to Dallas, where I mostly grew up. I spent like all my high school years in Dallas, and WrestleMania was coming. I was like, well, I gotta go. It was my
Yep.
first WrestleMania ever. It's finally in my town, and me and my dad go together, and man, like as a fan, that was like the best like experience of my life, and like the thought of like becoming a wrestler, uh like just being there, like that kind of like maybe just maybe I could do this. And then one day, uh, I'm in college at this point. I think it was like my junior year in college. I saw online Booker T was having like a fantasy camp where like anybody like fans and wrestlers and whatnot can just like show up, kind of try it out, just like see how the ropes feel. Like he'll teach you a few holds and a body slam or something, just to like just kind of feel it out.
Get your
And
feet wet.
I went and did it, and man, it just I was hooked. I was like, because like I went there, I wasn't expecting anything. Like I don't know what this is, but as soon as I got in there, I was like, okay, I have to do this now. And so that was kind of the catalyst. That was the turning point. I was like, I'm going to pursue this for real. And ever since that day, here we are now.
I think that's interesting because in a way you both kind of have a similar backstory. You know, you guys got your toes in it and you haven't looked back since. So we talked about, you know, being addicted to it, enjoying it. Let's flip it because you guys have had a journey. Because I looked up you guys' background a little bit. I know Zach, you were more in the Texas area, but Warren, you from Illinois. You know, you down here what we call a Yankee.
Yeah,
But
man.
you know, you came down. So let's look at some of the other sides of the table. Like, what were some of the obstacles that you guys encountered getting to the point where you guys are now? And we'll start with you, Zach.
So the biggest one is I was in school. I went to Baylor University
Oh,
in Waco, Texas, which is uh, rush hour traffic, about 4 hour drive.
ooh.
So I would have to like I purposely set all my classes early in the day. And then once I got out of class, I literally just grabbed my bag, got in the car, drove all the way to Houston, trained, finished training, and then head back because I got class the next day.
Dedication.
Yeah, on the way back, it's not that bad. It's about 3 hours on the way back. It's pretty through on the way back. But yeah, I did that for about a year and a half. And then in between semesters, I would like find a place in Houston to stay, and I would train every day all summer. The first summer I did that, I just found this lady online on some sort of like renting or hosting website or whatever, and she had a room for rent in her house. She didn't even. It was crazy because she didn't even speak English, and so
Oh.
I know her, but it was okay because like her daughter came over a lot and she spoke English,
Okay.
so she was kind of like our translator or our median between each other, and so I did that for a whole summer, and then the next summer I got lucky because I found an apartment that let me do a short-term lease for like 3 months, and so I was just living down there training, and then I had one more semester of driving back and forth after that. And man, when I graduated, I was happy. I was ready to get out of there, and then I just packed all my stuff up, moved down to Houston, and here I am now.
Man.
But that was probably the biggest challenge, is just trying to balance school and school training, working out, gotta make money to support your wrestling habit, like all that stuff. That was probably the biggest thing.
Man, what about you, Warren?
For me, it's a little different. I would say my struggles were just trying to get better at at the craft itself. So I started training in Illinois. Springfield, Illinois is where I'm from. I found a school out there, and they trained me, and they put on shows like every month. And I started getting, you know what I'm saying, little bitty shows here and there, just getting my feet wet, you know, just getting experience, getting some reps in. And it wasn't until I went to this big indie show, to where, and before that, like at this time, I was still just kind of like, it was just a hobby. I was like something I do on the weekends or whatever. I was working a regular job. I actually was working two jobs. I went to school to be a chef, so I was working like two cooking jobs, like, you know, doubles every day, and then I would work every Saturday, you know, have a match, you know. And it wasn't until I went to this really big indie show that exposed me to indie wrestling being really big. And like on this show, you had these people who are literally superstars now, like Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, you got PJ Black, you got Leo Rush, like all these people who are big names now. And this was about 2014, 2015. So they were just like, you know, they were indie darlings, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having a conversation with a couple of them, and they were telling me, you know, how this is how they make their living. And, you know, it inspired me to be like, okay, I can really do this. Like, I can really, you know, make something of my life and, you know, be financially stable with this. I just got to work hard at it. And there was a point to where the training that I was in, like, it's nothing against them, but it was just very stagnant. I wasn't learning anything new. And I knew there was a lot more that I had to learn, like working TV, you know, just, you know, working a particular style if I wanted to get to the next level. So, and I came to a crossroads in my life to where it was kind of like, you know, I need to do something. I need to figure something out. And I've always had family in Texas, all over Texas. I've always came to Texas every single year for like my whole life for family reunions and stuff like that.
Okay.
So one day I was just like, you know what? I think Texas is the move. And I got online, I was looking for wrestling schools, and I found Booker T's promotion. And I started watching reality wrestling on YouTube and just kind of like trying to get the background and just trying to get the feel for things. And something just spoke to me like, yo, this is the move. This is the move. So literally January 1st of 2017, just like my boy, I packed everything in my Ford Explorer, like literally everything, and just moved down here. I stayed with a cousin of mine. She was like, I'll let you stay here for a month, but you know what I'm saying? You got 1 month. By February 1st, you got to have your own apartment and anything like that. And I came down here and I moved. I was about an hour away from the school. So like I would drive about an hour, a little bit less than my brother here, but I would drive an hour to and back to the school and be working all day. And I saved up enough to get my own apartment. And then I moved out here just to get better, man. They had, you know, reality wrestling got a TV product that's on YouTube. So we're learning how to work those camera angles. We're learning how to work, you know, TV matches. We're learning how to be not just wrestlers, but main event wrestlers, you know? And I knew this was the right move, and I've been here ever since. And like, man, like just the experiences and the opportunities that I have been blessed with, that we have been blessed with, is just, man, just, I can't even put it into words how like grateful I am for it. You know, it's been a lot of ups and downs as well, but like, man, I made the move, and like it's no regrets at all.
It's amazing. And it's funny you brought that point up about experience, because something I paid attention to was you guys' kind of incline that you guys are on. And you talk about, you know, experience and opportunities. You guys have been on different promotions. You guys have had matches with a lot of these tag teams that are prevalent in the tag team scene right now. One of the promotions I've seen you guys on a few times was AEW, which is kind of like the new kid on the block. And you guys have also, even before then, worked with like LAX before, you know, and so with all this that's going on, with all the experience, you know, you come down, you get your boots wet per se, you know, you meet Booker T, you're in the school, you're learning the craft, you form this tag team, you become champions, you're on different promotions. Like, is there any one memory though that you could choose and say has been the most memorable overall? His gears is turning. You see it?
Yeah, it's a lot of them, man. It's a lot of them, man.
Yeah, probably when we really started popping off is when we had that 4-way VIP.
Yeah.
So there's promotion in the Dallas area. It's called VIP Wrestling.
Mhm.
They were supposed to have this big 4-way tag match for their tag team titles, and it was Crime Time, the original LAX,
Heart Foundation,
and the Heart Foundation. And there was another team, but they pulled out or couldn't make it for some reason. And just last minute, it might have been like a day or two before.
Yeah,
it
was like a day or two.
Yeah,
before,
we got a call, and they're like, "Can you make it?" And we were just like, "Yep."
I remember him like having to work, and he was kind of like, "I don't know if I can get off." And I'm just like, "Bro,
I was just
you gotta be like."
F it, I just
yeah, you gotta be like, hey, boss. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And then so we work in Dallas a lot. I think that's probably where a majority of we've had the majority where we get the majority of our work at. And so like Dallas knows us, and we're on this big card with all these names on it. And so like I think we're the last team to come out.
I think so.
Yeah, so Crime Time comes out, Heart Foundation comes out, Crime Times comes out, and then we come out, and we get this crazy huge reaction. I didn't even expect it. I was taken aback by it.
Whoa.
And like so all these dudes are in the ring, and we get this reaction, and they're looking back at us like, who are these dudes? And then so like match was what it was. It was awesome. Got to be in get in the ring with people. Watched as a kid and a teenager or whatever, and got to learn some stuff. So it was real cool. And then so that was a big moment. And then it all kind of came full circle. What about a year and a half, 2 years later? It's been.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're working at VIP again in the main event of 4-way tag, and we win the VIP tag titles.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. Like we go from having this crazy match we weren't even supposed to be in, and then a year or so later, now we got the belts in the same type of situation. So that was pretty
full
awesome.
Circle moment.
Yeah. Right.
It was cool being in the ring with Big Chad too. We learned, Crime Time is one of them tag teams that we kind of got inspired from with as far as tag team moves, and we actually do a tag team combination that they did, and we study. That's one thing about us. You earlier you said that we stand out because we're we don't we're different than other tag teams, and we actually study tag team matches to everything that you can study. And we would study Crime Time, and just we would be inspired, and we use one of their moves in our arsenal, and just being in there with those guys and getting that reaction. It was just the fans in Dallas knew who we were, and it felt like they were genuinely happy for us to get that opportunity, and then for it to come back full circle, and we get in there and we win the tag team titles at VIP a year and a half or 2 years later. It's just an amazing experience. So that's definitely one good experience. And then I think for me, working at AEW was a good experience as well, because I remember getting the email for the opportunity, and I was like, man, this is going to be cool. And then a couple of days passed, and I was sitting there I was watching AEW actually, and I'm just going to be like, man, it's finna be a lot of people in that mug, man. This is probably gonna be the biggest crowd we ever perform in front of. And I'm just like, my heart was like beating. I'm just like, bro, this is gonna be crazy. And this is like, you know, a good couple of days before the show, you know, our first appearance even happened. And like, man, I just remember like walking out the tunnel and walking out there and just seeing everybody and seeing all the fans. And I'm just like, man, regardless of how this turns out, this is going to be an amazing experience. And I just remember feeling that. And like everyone out there in that company is very good, man. Like we had a very good experience there, man. And it's a very good place. Like I would love to see us get more opportunities there. I love to come back. I love to, be a future tag team champions there someday. You never know.
Speak it into existence, bro. Speak it into existence, man.
Exactly.
Manifest that thing, dog.
Yes, sir.
All right. So my next question is what I like to call the long-term question, because you guys are young. You know what I'm saying? A good young tag team. You're hungry. You know what I'm saying? You're getting opportunities. So this is one of my favorite questions to ask a group like you guys. Where would you guys like to see yourselves as a team, as a wrestler, as a person? You know, any other title you could really think of. Where would you like to see yourself in the next 1 year, in the next 3 years, and then in the next 10 years?
Well, in the next 1 year, man, I love to see us just showing up at a lot of these, big name promotions like, MLW, AEW again, Ring of Honor. I know that they got a crazy situation right now, but I'm sure they're going to recover and come back. But like a lot of these mainstream popular companies out here and on the indies as well. Like I would just love to get out here more and just, get our names out here more to a lot of people who may not be familiar with who we are yet, and, get on their radar and, just travel all around the US and all around the world and just, start making a name for ourselves and start, making some money as well.
As far as me, pretty much same thing. Just getting ourselves out there more, putting our name out there. Just getting on, getting out of Texas. Really, we've been in Texas a long time, and I think it's about time, like a country gets familiar with Fly Death, because I genuinely believe like we are the one of the best teams doing this thing, and who are actually like dedicated to being the tag team and like really want to do this. So like just really just getting out, just spreading our wings and getting out there, man.
Showing these other tag teams that we can hang.
Yeah. Oh, we most definitely can hang.
Pop your shit, bro. Pop your shit.
Yeah. And then like longer term, like maybe in the next 3 years, I definitely see us getting picked up by somebody. Speaking into existence, man. Like I'm just trying to. I just want to be able to support myself fully with this. Like that's my main goal, is just to be able to live comfortably doing what I love to do, man.
Yeah, same here. Like the next 3 years, I definitely see us getting picked up, and definitely speaking that into existence. I speak it into existence every day when I wake up. Like I know opportunities are opening up. They're already opening up. It's already manifested, and it's just something that I strongly believe in, without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. So definitely within the next 3 years, I see us getting picked up. I see us making a good living, being financially stable from this, and like within the next 10 years, like I'm really big into just, like family and everything like that, and just trying to maintain generational wealth. So like I definitely want to get into a position where I'm making money, and then I can like venture out with like family members who want to, start businesses and invest in that, and like just have different streams of income coming in. That's just me. And, maintaining generational wealth so my kids and they kids can be good, just off of, what I'm, starting down, what I've started.
Man, legacy. That's what I'm hearing from you guys. You want more. And I like the fact that you both are ready for the next step. One of the big things is not getting comfortable. And both of you guys have exhibited that you're ready and willing to step outside of comfort zone to go to that next level. So I do not doubt that you guys will achieve your dreams. And I'm not just saying that because y'all are in front of me. I really mean that. I do not doubt it. I do not doubt it. So my last question, and honestly, gentlemen, this has been a great interview, like period. So my final question I like to dedicate to everybody watching and or listening. One of the hardest things to do is to do exactly what you two did. Experience a passion, fall for it, and chase it in its totality. What words of encouragement would you have for the next person who has a dream, but they're afraid to act on it?
Man, forget being afraid, man. Life's too short. Just if you want to do something, go do it. Like if you really, whatever it is, if you really want to be there, like really, really want to be there, you'll find a way to make it happen. Uh, like, man, just like in my case, like I wanted to be a wrestler. Well, I gotta make the drive. I
Yeah.
gotta like I gotta go to class. I gotta get my schoolwork done. So like I can make this drive down here so I can train and get better at this. And like like you're not gonna get better like feeling sorry for yourself or making excuses uh for yourself as to why like it's hard or you can't do something. Like if you really, really want it, like you can make it happen. And you don't have to do it by yourself. Like there are people that will, I'm sure there's someone out there that will gladly help you. Like there's plenty of times where like I drove it down here and like I'd be so tired, like I couldn't make it back to Waco and somebody would offer me a place to stay. This is like, or just like people offering rides, people offering places to stay, like people staying late to help me train, like if cause like I'm making my way all the way down here. So uh like like a couple hours ain't gonna be enough because like I need more because I didn't come all the way out here not to get better.
Yeah,
So
the trip
like
got to be worth it.
so like
Right.
I have friends that'll like stay late and like train with me and help me. So like there's ways to do it. There's always a way to like make something happen. Uh and like if you really want it, you'll figure out whatever that is for you.
Man, along the same lines for me, man, it's just don't hesitate, man. Life is short. Like, go for it. If you got a dream, like you can literally be anything. You can literally do anything you want out here. I mean, this the way the way that the world is so crazy nowadays. Like, you might as well put everything you want into your passion, and it's not going to be easy. You got to put in a lot of effort. You got to put in a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. The cliches, and just like go for it. Like if there's a young, especially a young black kid out there who wants to do this, like the day and age is so inspiring right now because there's so many black wrestlers out there that's doing it. So like you can find the inspiration and you can literally, do it. Uh just put the work in, it's not going to come to you overnight. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs. It's going to be a lot of bumps and bruises and whatever you want to do in your life. You don't necessarily have to be a wrestler, but you just know, like, it's going to take some hard work. It's going to take some sleepless nights. It's going to take some times where you're going to have your head down and you're going to be frustrated and you're going to be, contemplating if this is even what you're supposed to do. Because I've been through it too. Mm-hmm. And you just gotta be mentally strong, physically strong, and you gotta be able to pull through. And like anybody, anybody can do anything, man. You can set your mind to it. You can manifest it into reality. For real.
Well said, gentlemen. Now, I know I said that was my last question, but I almost forgot to ask this one. My people would kill me if I ain't ask you this. You guys are a tag team, so you know where I'm about to go with this.
Uh-oh.
If you could have any program with any tag team, past, present, future, which tag team would y'all have a program with?
FTR, what's up? I want the smoke. I want all the smoke. Dax Harwood. No, FTR, Cash Wheeler, yeah. FTR, they the best. To me, either FTR or the Usos. What's up? We want the smoke, man.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Like,
Hey.
for real.
I got a couple too. Definitely Usos and like in the past, the Dudley Boys. The Usos and the Dudley Boys are probably my favorite tag teams of all time.
That's a tall order of smoke. That second one, bro. That's that old man strong, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. If we were talking tag teams from the past, I would definitely love to mix it up with Harlem Heat as well, man. Just because it's the student versus teacher kind of thing.
That's true.
You know, and they some big boys, but like, you know,
man, where's Stevie at?
Right.
Where's Stevie?
They some big boys, and like I mentioned it to Booker before, like, man, you know, he's like, y'all wouldn't stand a chance, man. Like, you know, but that's our mentor, that's our teacher, and like I would just, you know, we actually had an opportunity to tag with him in a match, and that was just an amazing experience as well. So I guess we could, you know, back to that experience question, you could put that up there as one of the top experiences.
Man, forget you. That's when you turned on me, bro.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna bring it up.
Yeah, we wasn't even gonna talk about that.
I bet you do.
Right.
I bet that is your favorite.
But man, like, and it's so many. I was actually writing out a list of tag teams that, you know, I want to face, that I would love to mix it up with, because man, like, we've been doing this for about 5 years, man, and we have already mastered this, and we're still, you know, got a lot of mastering to do, which we are doing. So like, we're just ready and willing for anything. Them top tag teams, we're ready for that, man. We're ready for that next level. Them next level tag teams, we're ready to show you that we can hang, man. And a matter of fact, I might just take a picture of the list and tweet that mug out or something. Just like, just to stir the pot, just to get it going, just to get that, you know, that manifested into reality, man. Because like, the only way we're gonna get better is, you know, to face these tag teams that, you know, all the tag teams say they're the best tag team, you know. So we just gotta get ourselves out there and show them that, you know, we got something to say too.
That is. Well, gentlemen, if anybody want to get in contact with you, or they just want to follow you on the socials, what's the best way to kind of follow up with you guys?
You can find me on Instagram at Zack_Zilla, and on Twitter it's the Zack_Zilla.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well. The ad is Fly Brother with an A, not an ER, Brother Warren J, on both platforms, Twitter and Instagram. So follow me. I keep the Facebook and Snap kind of private, so I'm not.
I don't blame you.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't even really get on those too much. But Twitter and Instagram is the main things you can catch me and catch a lot of content from us on there. So follow us on there, Fly Brother Warren J.
That is. Well, gentlemen, Fly Def in the building. I appreciate y'all.
T-shirts and merch on ProWrestlingTees.com/FlyDef. You know, get some of this.
Go get you a t-shirt.
Get some of that Fly Def merch.
I'm gonna have to go and buy a t-shirt now.
Sir.
I gotta have a shirt now, because I'm a t-shirt hoe. I love t-shirts, bro. So I'm definitely gonna crop one, take a picture, and I'm gonna tag y'all to it.
For sure.
All right. Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure talking with y'all. Fly Def in the building. I wish y'all the best of luck, man. I can't wait to see y'all on the screen again. Listen, when y'all get picked up, notice I ain't say if.
Right.
When y'all get picked up, I'm gonna slide my ass in y'all DM again. Like, yo, time for that part 2. So,
sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
We
got you, bro. We got you.
Gentlemen.
Thanks for having us on, man. We appreciate you reaching out. I know the schedule's been crazy, and like I can't even lie, I done forgot we was moving so much, and I was like, oh yeah, man, homie hit me up for a podcast. We need to start doing these interviews and stuff. So I'm glad we was able to finally get it, you know, going and everything like that, bro. So
absolutely
appreciate you having us on, man.
For sure. Listen, like you said before, it's important that Black men see Black men chasing their dreams.